Sir, it is devastating as a disabled person to witness the Labour government's recent actions ruthlessly and unforgivably punishing disabled people and pensioners for its own failures to balance the books and deliver on its manifesto promises. Not only is this economically futile, because you will never get more disabled people into work by taking away the money that buys their care, their mobility aids and anything close to a level footing with their able-bodied neurotypical peers, but it is brutally unethical. During the last Conservative government, Disabled Spaces Online discussed papers that had been made public which considered extensive options to reduce the money that's been spent on benefits. Suggestions like narrowing eligibility for PIP and discriminating against certain groups of people were highlighted as surely too far for the Tories, including by many in the Labour Party who frequently made comments extremely similar to those that I'm making this afternoon. That it is a Labour government taking forward these reforms is devastating to everybody who voted Labour last year thinking that they were voting for positive change. The SNP has been working hard for years with targeted benefits and programmes to lift children out of poverty, but UK Labour is dragging them into it. The proposal to remove incapacity benefits from anyone under 22 is not only ignorant and ageist, it is cruel. It ensures that people who have a whole life ahead of them, which could be productive and happy if they have the right support, instead are going to live in poverty and misery if they manage to live at all. I again want to remind people that adult disability payment, personal independence payment, universal credit, these are not necessarily out-of-work benefits. Disability benefits are a recognition of the extra costs faced by those successful claimants who often can't function without the things that they use the money to purchase. Universal credit is often needed by people who are not making enough money despite being in work, even if they're taking up multiple roles. Many who claim these benefits are out of work, but knowing a lot of these people myself, I am aware that this is more a reflection on employment practices and societal norms than those people and their own attitudes towards work. Because whether you can do full-time hours or not, whether you experience brain fog, chronic pain, fatigue, an inability or a struggle to do things that others find easy, like reading, sitting, standing, writing or speaking, people generally want to feel fulfilled in their lives. And even the most well-off pensioners that I know usually volunteer, take on part-time work, find things that they can do to be productive. Looking at how many disabled people are unemployed and concluding that you must take away the little money that they have to force them into a workplace that is not set up for them and likely won't hire them anyway is ridiculous and demonstrates either extreme ignorance or a terrifying cruelty and inconsideration of the risk that this puts those lives in. Brutal changes to personal independence payment are blatant attempts to remove money from people with mental health issues, whom Labour seems to think are unworthy of support. But they will affect people who have a wide range of conditions. As Kevin Stewart and others have already outlined, there will be people who cannot dress themselves or wash without help, who see their payments disappear. Now, how will they pay somebody to help with these intimate tasks in order for them to be able to show up to any job? Of the 800,000 people who will lose out on the money that they rely on to manage their conditions thanks to Labour's cuts, how many will be unable to keep their jobs as a result? Labour's broken promises are piling up at a truly remarkable speed. I can only assume that Keir Starmer and his team believe that these punitive cuts to the most vulnerable will be forgotten by the next election, but they will not. On heating payments for pensioners, WASPy women, Grangemouth workers, GB Energy, no austerity, people are going to remember the harm that is being caused today. Instead of standing with us against the surge of the far right by protecting human rights in the face of growing risk across the world, Labour is all but handing them the next election. And I said Labour's decisions devastate me as a disabled person. They also dismay me as a nationalist. Because all of this reminds me, and I hope it's not lost on my constituents in the Highlands and Islands, that it doesn't matter who's in power in Whitehall, the Tories or the so-called party of devolution. It does not matter how lacking in conscience we, and I mean the Scottish Parliament, not just my own party here, believe their decisions to be. It doesn't matter how vast the gap is between approaches here and there. Our spending, our plans, our powers can all be badly impacted with no notice or consultation. Funding that we have great plans for can disappear at the whim of a UK minister. We've had some incredible successes in Scotland through devolution, and I'm proud of the progress that has been made in this place. But this doesn't work because we can do better and we need independence.
Thank you. And I call Liz Smith.